When it comes to efficiency and optimization, I've noticed that especially for local businesses, they're wanting to obviously run ads, but what I've seen was that there has been a bit of a gap between people actually opting in to learn more information about the actual company and their services. And then there's a fall off between the people that actually opt in and that actually book an appointment. So because of that, there is that gap. AI and these different automations would really help fulfill that gap.
Hi, my name is Dimitri Panici, and I'm a content creator, agency owner, and AI enthusiast. You're listening to the AI Agents Podcast, brought to you by Jotform, and featuring our very own CEO and founder, Ida Tank. This is the show where artificial intelligence meets innovation, productivity, and the tools shaping the future of work. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the AI Agents Podcast. In this episode, we have Peter, the founder of SyncSonic AI. Their tagline is that they help you book more, work less, and let AI handle it. How you doing, Peter?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. Really excited to chat. I know the world of AI and AI assistants, especially in the follow-up and sales world, is something that's top of mind for me, getting a lot of discovery calls and whatnot, and I really don't want to have to send follow-ups. So since I'm probably in the camp of people that your product would help out, would love to know a little bit more about how you got started in AI in general, and then a little bit about what SyncSonic does.
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate you having me. And yeah, would love to just talk about AI. I know it's a hot topic these days, and it has been for the past couple, I'll say 2 or 3 years, where it's been really taking off. But yeah, I mean, it's really been implemented in kind of where I was working. In from how I started my career, it's been in performance marketing with running ads on like Facebook and Google. So I've been doing that for about 8+ years, and even in those days, AI has been kind of central in terms of optimizing campaigns. It's been like the backbone of like the algorithms, but it hasn't really taken off like the LLMs and like the ChatGPT, and it wasn't really like where you can interact with it, but it kind of blew up. I would say like in the past 2 to 3 years, and the reason why I kind of went more into AI is because I came across this viral video where there was a AI talking to a real person. It was like a video and like a recording, a voice recording of the interaction, and the AI agent was like acting as a salesperson for Apple. It was trying to sell like their what's it called, like those the big AirPod Max or something. Yeah,
Yeah. The
yeah.
ones that hurt your ears.
When
Yeah.
it first came out, and then yeah, that video went viral, and I signed up to it, and it was like a voice AI company that was basically promoting their license for using their tool, right? And then that's kind of how I really got into conversational AI. This was about 2 years ago. But that company turned out to be a scam. But at least
Oh
it
no.
got me into the world of conversational AI agents. But yeah, I mean, I was always fascinated with technology since I've been working with like in tech. But yeah, made that transition into really learning more deeper about conversational AI agents and automations. And here I am now, working with different companies, like helping them set up AI, and also still working on like the digital marketing side of making creatives, and also thinking, I mean, we can discuss this later, but also implementing AI with creatives as well. And by creatives, I'm talking about like video ads and banner ads.
Yeah, so my background is a little bit in the world of paid search and paid social, so that would be actually something interesting to chat about. I could definitely talk through that with you. It's actually, speaking of that, I think on your like tagline of what I see for you on LinkedIn, it actually even mentions like 33 million in managed and ad spend. So it's definitely something that seems to be top of mind for you. How did that like kind of experience with lead gen, because obviously that's something that comes out of spending all that money on ads, kind of inform you and what you're building at SyncSonic to make the product even better?
For sure, yeah. So I've noticed that, you know, it's like, I mean, this that $1 million like budget, it was across multiple companies, and they're all spending ads, right? And they want to do it efficiently, and they I mean, for most of these businesses, I would say even like even local businesses, they're all trying to promote their service online, or they really um are hard to miss. Like, people won't know that they actually exist unless they're like on Google Maps or like Yelp. But even then, it's very difficult to kind of stand out across like competitors. So when it comes to it, it's really when it comes to really scaling the business and thinking about the revenue, they want to decrease their customer acquisition costs and increase their revenue. That's how they kind of create that margin across actually spending money on ads. And when it comes to efficiency and optimization, I've noticed that especially for local businesses, they're wanting to um, obviously run ads, but what I've seen was that there has been a bit of a gap between people actually opting in to learn more information about
Okay.
the actual company and their services, and then there's a fall off between the people that actually opt in and that actually book an appointment. So um, saw that because of that, there is that gap. AI and these different automations would really help fulfill that gap, and um, at least increase that efficiency when it comes to people actually spending like money on ads. And yeah,
Yep.
having these automations with like the speed to lead, with it doesn't really exactly need to be AI driven in the first place. It could just
Sure.
be like an automation that's like sent via email or even SMS, because people are,
Yes.
if you're thinking about it, they're giving us their info, right? They're saying, I'm interested
So we can use it. Yeah.
this is right. And then yeah, I mean, they're requesting for more information. So you rather get to them that touch point as quickly as possible. So yeah, we have automations set up in that aspect. And then if people reply or show additional interest, that's when AI will take over and continue on the conversation to get to the final objective. The final objective is really different company to company. Sometimes they're trying to
Sure.
sell something online, like e-commerce. We would send like a payment link. The others, they're trying to book appointments. So that would be like a schedule link. So yeah, I would say, throughout my experience, I've learned that people are spending money on ads, and they're always trying to reduce costs either through creative optimization, but there's that additional thing that we can do with automation and AI, which is the next step after people click on the ads, which is a bit more of a down funnel metric, and a down funnel kind of stage of the sales cycle. So I think that's where AI is definitely helping. I want to say it's replacing humans, but it's definitely helping optimize and making that funnel more efficient as well.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's totally something that I think makes a lot of sense that you're calling out is basically there's direct things you can do in ads to kind of make the performance better, but there's also this like other part of the process, right? That maybe ads managers don't even have like the capability to help or manage it like an agency. But with what you're doing, it essentially makes the process all just like work a little bit better to get those conversion rates up, whatever it may mean. And I think there's a tagline on your website that, I mean, truly speaks to it, which is missed calls does mean missed revenue. I can't tell you how many times I've had a conversation with somebody that I was like, I just want to eat lunch and skip this call, right?
Yeah.
Where afterwards, like it ended up turning into a client, and I was like, yep, I'm glad I didn't make that like mistake. Or there was a time where I sent a follow up when I just felt like I needed to, and maybe the person was like, oh yeah, I needed to reschedule. Thanks for sending me an email. And these little things really do add up so much.
No, absolutely. And yeah, I'm on that same boat as well. There was a point where I was taking like 20 to 30 discovery calls per week, and it gets tiring. It's like a very repeatable process where you're saying the same thing over and over again. And yeah, I'd rather have AI handle it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the kind of approach of these AI tools helping you out in like incremental levels so that all the different annoying things in work can kind of be helped. So like for me, I would have a lot more energy to go on calls if I didn't have to do all these follow-ups. And while I'm a decently let's say capable automation maker, it does kind of get to the point where sometimes I just want an out of the box solution. So tell us a little bit more about how SyncSonic and the AI agent like Amy kind of helps to really lift the burden of those types of things off of people
Sure.
pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I can give some examples of a case where we're actually using Amy AI, which is our AI receptionist,
Yep.
that's working 24/7. So it's actually being used practically in a medical clinic right now that I've been helping out since March this year. They're in Georgia, and they are a brick and mortar clinic that is
Okay.
open 3 times for a week. And they had that burden of coming into the office, seeing a ton of missed calls, and they would have to actually follow up with them on their days that they're in the office. So yeah, I mean, it's not like the biggest clinic. I mean, they're doing around like 10,000 to 20,000 per month, at least when they started working with me. So, they needed a way to kind of leverage AI and these automations because they were limited. I mean, they had a team, but they would have to kind of juggle different things at once. So yeah, they wanted to set up an AI receptionist. So now Amy AI is working to handle calls, all inbound calls, 24/7. So when you call the office right now, seeing their Google profile, Google Maps, and if you just press the call button, it'll be Amy AI, and that picks up. That schedules appointments, answers any questions, reschedules, cancels. It can also remind you of when your appointment is as well. So yeah, it's definitely taking that burden off of that team of the clinic, and they don't have to follow up with them anymore. And yeah, last time I checked, it's taking about like 200 calls per month, which is great. Yeah, it's saving.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah,
Geez. Okay. So 200 calls. And I guess kind of speak a little bit to my main, thought question with this kind of stuff is the human element and kind of like how the interactions go. So tell me what makes Amy AI so good at, being able to handle all those calls. And I'm sure there's a level there of, let's say, skepticism that everyone would have. Hopefully, that that's probably healthy and common. But what kind of makes it human, right?
sure. Well, the thing is, I've noticed that people don't like to be deceived from a lot of
Sure.
in
Yeah.
this industry, right? So it's actually better to be upfront about it. Like it's just just saying upfront before when it picks up the phone. At least with the clinic itself, like they kind of have to mention that this line is being recorded. It's like
Yes.
safety
Yes.
purposes as well, like compliant purposes as well. So
This line is being recorded. Yeah.
exactly, exactly, and
Yep.
also mentioning that like I am actually an AI assistant, but you can talk to me like a real human, and we'll still, you
So
know,
just
yeah.
expectation setting.
Exactly, exactly. It's just
Okay.
expectation setting so people are aware. So it's like a better version of those the different call recording stuff that we had in the past where you have to like press 0 to actually talk to a real person. But if people still do that, when I'm listening to like the call recordings, I'm seeing that people are still trying to skip the AI part. But I mean, you really can't in this case. But the thing is, at least with this, you can talk to it, and we have the LLM working in the back end to be able to interpret what the person is saying, and it's actually sometimes even better than what a human can come up with because it has all the answers in the back. And even if we don't prompt it with a knowledge base, let's say
Yeah.
like we don't actually add that information about a certain medicine that in the knowledge base of that AI, it would still be able to retrieve it from the LLM, whether it's using OpenAI, Claude, like it still has that information. So I would say it has more information that it can actually present versus an actual person can. How's the person going to memorize all that information? You know what I mean? So I think in that,
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
yeah,
No, that's a good point. And I, just out of curiosity, obviously RAG is something that was like kind of popular term for a while and whatnot. So with these types of training, the way that you can get this agent to be better and better, how necessarily are you going about training it? And what do you think is some of the most common instances of calls that it would be good for? Because I think, I see multiple applications, not only just in sales, but what other industries do you feel like, and examples, I know you have some testimonials on your website. Do you feel like are common ones that you've seen?
sure, yeah. So I've actually applied it to different industries. And where I'm kind of gearing towards is more on the inbound receptionist type uh, setups because I've tried the cold calling, I've tried like the sales aspect of it, and so far I don't think it's really. I mean, it might just be personal opinion, but I don't think it's there just yet. I think even with sales, like people are wanting more of a personal touch, at least from what I'm thinking. And it might just be my opinion, but when people want to, I guess, learn more about something, learn about a service or whatever the offer is, I think they still want a personable touch. With AI, there's still a bit of a latency. So if you like talk to it,
How long?
it's like 1 to 2 seconds, like depending on like what you're talking about. Sometimes it speaks pretty quickly. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag. So that actually definitely drops that like personable touch, and people who may be impatient, like with the world that we're living in right now. The attention span is very low, right? So even within that
Yeah.
like couple seconds, people might be impatient, right? So yeah, I think at least the direction that I'm going right now is more on the receptionist side of things, where we can handle inbound calls if there's already inbound calls happening. Like for example, the clinics that are taking in inbound calls from existing or new patients that want to inquire to the clinic. That's one example. Others are could be like customer service. So I'm putting a proposal to a company for a customer service setup. They're doing like a B2B, they have a warehouse with like different products that they're servicing for any like after purchase support in case like the product gets broken, it needs more servicing, they need replacements. So those are all like inquiries that are coming in. I think in terms of inbound, we can definitely use AI because I think at that point the people have already been converted and they have specific requests. It's very like there's not too many outliers when it comes to the input of data, if that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
same with sales as well. Like there shouldn't be too much outlier, but I think there's more of a rapport building that's needed. Of course, you can still use it for like appointment setting, but even then, I think it's still. I don't know. I guess it really depends on the person as well, and depends on like the industry as well. But at least from what I've seen, I think it might be still pretty good to yeah, use a person for like appointment setting.
No, that's totally fair. I think that's uh that's that it's interesting with I don't know these types of things because I agree with you on the rapport building. It's so important, and like I'm going through a process right now of having a better sales system and trying to implement that with people. And I'm trying to understand how I can better use AI with it. And some of me does feel like maybe some of the more complicated offerings and stuff, or like when you have to put proposals together in between, maybe don't work as well with these. But I do think for more basic, like brick and I said brick and mortar. Brick and mortar businesses would probably be helpful. I think offices of any kind that are the doctor realm or whatever, I think can really benefit from this type of stuff. So no, that's really interesting to me. I did have another question that's kind of around um, this agent thing in general, how many people are on your team?
Yes. So in terms of the actual like agent automation side of things, I have one full-time developer that does
Nice.
and manages like all these different automations and AI prompt.
Wow.
Um, and then the two other people that I'm working with right now are, like CRM experts and then like a performance marketer that helps with the creative building, uploading the ads, and yeah, the CRM expert does like the landing page build outs and also just setting up um and making the connections from the different workflows and like the CRM tools that we're using currently. So that's kind of the stack that I have for the AI and like the performance marketing aspect of things. And then I have this other team that does a lot of the fulfillment on UGC requests. So these are like a video request offer that I have for building out user generated content for ads. They're not exactly performance based. It's more like deliverables when there's requests that come in. It's more of like building out the creative brief, then it's ideation to actual production and delivering the end video product. I mean, it's not really AI based per se, but I'm trying to see if I can experiment with AI on like the banner ads. That's a work in progress right now with the AI developer that I have. But at least in that front, there's like four other team members that are building out those UGC, like video editing and
Yeah.
the project management of things as well. Yeah.
No, absolutely. That makes sense. And, I did, it does seem like you have a pretty small and lean team. And obviously you're an AI first company as you are an AI product yourself. What do you think the landscape's going to be like? Obviously it seems like your goal, I'm guessing, is to help people not have to staff up as much in regards to like customer support and like basic sales type stuff. So how do you think the landscape's really going to continue to shift
Sure,
in the
sure.
upcoming years, team size wise, with not only your own company, which I'd love to hear about, but other like the industry as well, the total landscape as well.
Sure. Well, in terms of total landscape, I know there's been a lot of like news lately saying that there's a lot of investment that has been going into AI, but in terms of actual like practicality, it's not been too great. So yeah, I think there may be some type of misconception. I think there is like this whole conception of how like AI is going to take your job. AI is here to replace human workforce and all that stuff, but I think at least from my point of view and just my use cases so far, it hasn't really been that extreme. It's more of, I think, how AI can definitely help replace and help like automate tasks, but they don't actually like replace humans. So I think we have to really expand and broaden the education of AI, and that's something I'm really thinking about investigating further into. I think there could be a lot of uh, I guess opportunity in terms of just being able to educate people on AI, like a training type of program that can be useful for like companies, um, enterprise level companies. And then in terms of more of like the small to medium sized businesses, they have a lot of tasks that can be automated and they're a bit more nimble as well. So in terms of at least my goals, it would be like setting up more of these like proposals to these small to medium companies where a lot of these tasks that they're doing can be automated with AI. So it'll require like an audit of what they're already doing. And, as it's really interesting. Recently I found out that like the bigger the company, like when you open the can, like there's a lot of worms. There's a lot of manual tasks being taken care of. The bigger the company, and yeah, it's really interesting to me that for a company my size is which is pretty lean, out of maybe like 4 people, 4 to 8 people that are working on AI, we're actually utilizing a lot more automation than something that's like a public company that has a ton of people working for them. So
Do you think that's like the capabilities there come out of just being a more like being able to be a more lean like company because of your I guess the word I would say is you know, ability to move fast on things, right? Because it's so honestly it is so hard nowadays. Like when you get into big companies, they're just a ridiculous, and I mean ridiculous, a ridiculous amount of red tape around these sorts of things, and it just feels like it's nearly impossible to kind of
Right.
take the to take everything and get going on an idea, right? Like I even have it in my own team when like there's someone in their process at the marketing agency, they're like, oh, I don't want to like change what I'm doing, or I don't want you to change what I'm doing, sort of thing. And like the bigger the team, it almost seems like the harder it is to kind of move on these great ideas that people have
Yeah,
with
and
automations.
there's a lot of hierarchy and a lot of back and forth. I think that's just what happens. I mean, it's the nimbleness of the smaller to medium-sized companies. For the most part, at least from what I've noticed, is that yeah, those type of companies, even like the higher ups of those companies, are still working towards reaching a certain goal. So you can kind of directly talk to them and kind of work on these new proposals and implement changes pretty quickly. Whereas like the enterprise, it's kind of like bottom up. You kind of propose to someone that's like maybe in the middle of the hierarchy, and then they have to talk to the higher ups. There's a lot of communication, and compliance is a huge thing as well,
Mm.
especially for the bigger companies. Security measures. So a lot of that is, I think, a lot of barrier to entry, a lot of friction as well to test out new things. And yeah, we're just missing that nimbleness that the small and small to medium sized companies have, which yeah, is definitely a benefit for them to test out these new AI products.
Yeah, like for just the sake of continuing this conversation on kind of how as a company you've grown using these tools. What is it like, I guess, when a new model comes out or when something comes out? Like we I even just like said to you before the recording started, I'm like, dude, did Gemini 3.0 just drop? And which means immediately in my mind's going to what workflows do I update my model on? Right. I run like a marketing agency that's tailored towards SaaS, and the metrics just dropped on this thing. And its screenshot pro metric is 72%, and the next closest screen understanding model was 4.5 Sonnet at 36%.
Okay. Wow.
So it like completely, it seems like, and to me that matters. To other
Yeah.
people it doesn't, right? Just kind of curious what your mind goes through when you see this, because as a company, you have your operations that are fundamental to growing your company, and then the core competency that you provide. What is it like from all those different standpoints? Marketing, coding, I'm sure, right? All these things. What is it like?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Within the last 2 years, there's been a monumental shift, even with like conversational AI agents. Of
Hmm.
course, it's improving, which is great. But yeah, to your point, there are tools that we're experimenting, and then as we start experimenting, there's a new one that comes out, and we have to like adapt to it, which is a bit of a stress, to be honest, because we were just getting adjusted to this new one. But yeah, I think it's just part of the industry that we're in. If we're wanting to use AI, we have to adapt to new tools. It is a bit frustrating because you always constantly have to be doing research and development. But I think
Sure, to compete.
yeah, it's just the way of the game. Especially just being in this industry. But yeah, what can you do? Like it's just like if you're in AI, like you either have to adapt it or you're basically dead, right? So yeah.
Yeah. No, but I think that's a good mindset to have, because practically speaking, I think the companies that aren't going to implement them over the next 5-ish years are going to be left for dead, for lack of a better good phrasing. Small companies like yourself can do so much more work. I mean, I think the biggest area that this is going to help is brick and mortar and like blue collar companies that like there's apparently this idea that is coming up with people my age. I'm in my late 20s. So a lot of people have built up some capital and in their 30s who have built up some capital are like buying up old
Mm,
brick and mortar companies
yeah.
that are like inefficient, that are already established, and just AIing and automating the crap out of them, and then and then growing them, and then selling them to private equity
Right.
when they're done, because it's like these people are overstaffed by like 5x, and they're just on because they don't do anything from a
No, I think that's a good
automated
point.
standpoint.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the AI private equity approach. You implement AI and then, yeah, automate a lot of the manual work. Yeah, increase
sell it off.
profitability. Yeah, and then just sell it all. I think that's pretty great.
Yeah, because a lot of it's just pure margin, man. Like you just get the costs down on time to deliver. Like even there was a not always removing jobs. I know that's always where people's head goes, but like I was thinking about it for like, I don't know, an HVAC company or even like a plumbing company.
Mhm.
Like the reason that people, I'm sure, are slow to come to your house and they don't get to do as many jobs per day is their route optimization is bad, and they don't have the proper things on hand, and they keep having to go back to home base. So I'm like, if you literally just solved that with AI, I'm sure like that plumbing company would do like 30-40% more in revenue,
Right.
and you know, easy.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's just like optimization, revenue optimization. That's terrible. Yeah. That yeah, that
No, I mean, that's practically what it is with working with a lot of these like blue collar companies. It's like, oh, you have an appointment here, 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 here. Yeah. And it's like, that's why you get the answer of what time is the plumber coming? And it's like 3 to 9 p.m. It's like, I don't know how you
Oh yeah.
manage
No, I
that.
get that too. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been happening. It's just like, when are they actually coming? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just because they're probably on old organizational systems. So, but getting all that back to a little bit about what you do, I do want to cover off on a couple different things. So it said I saw that you were the winner at Founders Live in San Diego. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with like Winners Live. But
No, I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah. So it's worldwide, and what they do
Mm-hmm.
is basically have these meetings, like a pitch competition. So it's pretty
Cool.
open invitation. But in terms of the actual pitch competition, you have to apply to it, maybe like a month before. And yeah, they pick like, I mean, it's usually like 5 to 6 startups that come and pitch, and then people that are attending, it's an open invitation. Anyone can just come in, listen to the pitch. Usually it's most people that are like either founders or interested in starting a new project, new company. So yeah, it's worldwide. And then yeah, I went to it because I want to expand my network, just like with other founders as well. But yeah, I decided to, pitch myself. And the funny thing is, I think 80% of the pitch was done by my AI assistant. So basically, showcasing the product, and how conversational AI works. But yeah, it actually made me win the last competition. So I got a lot of great benefit out of that, because they do give a lot of these like packages, where you can get a lot of these like software credits and access to all these different things. And yeah, I got pretty good benefit from doing that. So yeah, I'm really thankful to
That's
have that.
pretty dope. That's awesome. That's funny. You kind of went there, and it wasn't like something you're expecting to win from, but like you did.
You're right. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
literally my voice AI agent, like me myself, like conversing with the voice AI. And yeah, it was a, I guess it's kind of stood out to a lot of the people. So that was
Oh,
great.
definitely. I could definitely see that. No, I mean that's one of the reasons I reached out is what you guys are doing are pretty cool. So I could see that being how it played out. What's kind of your goal for the next few years? Like what's the ethos of the company? What is the reason behind why you're doing what you're doing, and where do you want to go from here?
Sure. Yeah. Well, for me, it's always thinking about like how can we like optimize and make businesses more efficient. So it's
Okay.
really about helping like business owners, like myself, whether it's enterprise or a small. I mean, we're kind of slowly diving into enterprise recently. But yeah, I would want my solutions and whatever we build for companies to really help them, right? I think that's the main ethos of the company. But in terms of what and how we do it right now is with AI and a lot of the automation buildouts. And I think that's going to really remain the same throughout my entrepreneurial journey, at least with this SyncSonic AI company. Um, the goals right now is really there's so many opportunities, and I would say the shiny objects that I'm facing like day to day, right? So it's exciting, but at the same time, it's overwhelming and it's stressful because we're limited by a thing called time, right? And there's so much we can do um, until we actually explode because our brains are full, and if you don't have a focus, you're not really getting anything done, right? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like there's a lot of different opportunities at hand. A lot of people that are wanting to work with me as well in terms of the automation, AI, all these different
Yes.
things. But it's just like, which area should I focus on? Which area is most scalable? Which area would actually provide that value that remains and is parallel to the ethos that I mentioned? Like, where can we help? What industry can we help the most? Is it also scalable? Where we can also grow from it. So it's kind of I'm kind of stuck in that area right now because I've been working with clinics, but I'm still always wondering and contemplating if this is the right approach to go to because yeah, every even within clinics, every clinic is a bit different. Sometimes it requires a bit more custom work. So yeah, I'm just trying to see if the service that I'm providing can also be like scalable, can be kind of packaged into something that we can just somewhat like copy and paste so we can handle more clients at the same time.
Sure. No, that's totally fair. I really appreciate that. I think it's a good vision to have because my big thing with AI is I don't think it'll actually do the whole job like apocalypse that people are concerned with. There's usually like three categories I'd say that people's opinions fall into. We got like apocalypse, right? I think it's the least popular opinion actually in pop culture.
Hmm.
I would say it's the weird winner because it's just like the thing to say. Not in the people who are in the AI community that are like actively doing it. Like I've interviewed, it has to be 100 people at this point on the show. There's been like nobody saying we're cooked.
Yeah.
And now that could be because it's the wrong sample, right, of people. But people who are aware of how it works, I think maybe have more to stand on than people who aren't really familiar with it, right? Number two is kind of like we will see a job apocalypse, but it will make a bunch of companies that are kind of like you and where, it's an extremely lean team with people who are like doing a specific service with AI agents helping support them. And then the other opinions like, and where maybe I fit in somewhere between 1 and 2. I think both could be true at the same time. The last one would be that I agree with maybe the most is day-to-day jobs will become increasingly less nonsensical from a monotony standpoint. Right? Like the second that we start getting to the point where we have cloud compute being able to interact with the screen a little bit more, and obviously with AI browsers, I think this is going to be a thing. When we start having that, that with MCPs mixed in, I think we're just going to have access to so many things that since we're already kind of past the point where I don't think it's like reasoning or token limit or like agent runtime anymore. It's more like access to clicking stuff on a screen. And once we hit that point, I think we'll basically make it so that all the nonsense work is a little bit like reduced or significantly reduced. So people are going to have more deep jobs. My only contention that kind of fits into the apocalyptic section is like, I do think associate level work is definitely going to be under fire because most, and this is I try to hedge every time by not insulting people. I don't think people realize how associate level work is valuable. However, it is essentially just a complicated set of if-then logic.
Oh yeah.
right? Because a manager just checks whether you followed the if then.
Right.
And practically speaking, once we get to the point to where all of the endpoints, whether it be through MCP across everything and or agentic clicking exists, we will then reach the point where if we have all the SOPs for this if then stuff, the agent can just do it, right? And this is like 2 years away. Like at it may be like the earliest, and maybe also I could be undershooting it, right? And I say that to people like in my day to day, and they get a little freaked out. But I'm like, but that would also mean that everybody has to like step up their game a little bit, and I think that will make jobs deeper and more valuable, right? Because if everyone didn't have to do this nonsensical click clack BS, I think the world like, have you ever seen the show Silicon Valley?
I did, yeah. I watched it.
Right. You know, like how the trope in that show is we're making the world a better place.
The tropes. I don't.
The trope of that show is that the tech
Oh,
founders would always say making the world a
it
better
was a little
place
better place.
by doing,
That's such a
yeah.
common thing in Silicon Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually. I love that show because it seems to be actually really accurate to the world over there. But practically speaking, if that's where we get, actually, that would make the world a better place because
True.
no one wants to do that crap.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, let's also work for like offshore VAs as well for like very simple tasks. So I guess it'll impact them as well. So I guess I mean, you can learn it. I don't think it's actually not that hard to learn about these tools. It's actually I'm not a developer myself, and I can
sure.
pretty much learn how to set these automations up. And it's actually getting easier. So I think yeah, I don't think people need to freak out about it either because they can like take some time to learn it as well. I don't think it's that difficult, right?
No, absolutely, and I think it's fair to kind of call out how you are somebody who's in the world of AI. You're building a product, and you're not a developer, but you're managing to make these changes. So it's pretty cool. I think you might be one of the examples of that, like tier 2 that I was talking about, because it's I think there's nothing wrong with having more small business owners. I think it's a good thing,
For sure.
because
Yeah.
you have this one thing you're specifically into, and you can really get deep on that specific thing.
Yeah, it's just really going into the pain points of whatever industry that you're in. If you can, have AI or automation, really relieve that pain, I think yeah, you're golden.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts on the kind of favorite things that you use in a, I guess, day-to-day manner that's outside of the context of what we've been talking about, right? Like what really gets you going and excited in just general AI usage for yourself as a founder?
Sure. Well, I really kind of compare myself to like 5 years ago, where we didn't really have
Sure.
these crazy tools, and it's gotten just like so much more convenient. I can just share an example. I don't know if you use an AI note taker like Fathom, but it basically is, I work remotely, so all my meetings are like on Zoom, and what these AI note takers do is, they obviously record the call and really pull out the main bullet points of the conversation that I had, and not just that, it adds that into my project management board. So it creates that automatically into tasks. And then from there, I just need to assign the correct people to those tasks. And that itself, I think, is like a part-time job that anyone can take over. So I think what's really exciting is the fact that it really liberates you from
Absolutely, man.
do all that thing. And as an entrepreneur, it's really exciting, right? Like that liberation and that freedom, just from implementing technology. It really allows you to expand your time to do more things. And then just being able to also work remotely, I think is exciting as well. I know we discussed a little bit about like where we have lived before, but yeah, hopefully I can also move out and work somewhere else in the near future. So I think that's something I'm looking forward to as well. So I think I'm working towards those goals, like being able to liberate myself, automate a lot of my tasks, and be able to work from different countries and by traveling as well. I think that's really exciting.
Yeah. What is the one thing that you wanted? Well, we're going to close out the episode real quick, but just before we do that, what is the one thing that you're really excited about that's going on with your product that you are excited to, whether it be announce again because it's a new feature or something that you're working on that you're excited to kind of continue to work towards? And
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the perfect time to bring it up. But yeah, I know earlier I mentioned that I'm working on like a creative generation with AI. So that's really exciting. Yeah, it also kind of takes away the job from like actual designers. But there's not really much to actually like edit on Canva anymore. Like even Canva is such a great tool, and they implemented AI, and it's gotten so much better. Like you know, uh, also comparing myself like 5 years ago, I'd be more used to like utilizing like Adobe Photoshop or like Adobe Premiere for video editing. Now there's much quicker tools, and now it's even like AI that's just like designing the whole thing, and you're basically vibe designing, like vibe coding as well. So you're basically just prompting AI to design like ads and even videos at scale. So
Wow.
it's just what's been in the works. So just to give you a bit more specific rundown, it's basically we can use a AI scraper. Basically, there's this tool called Foreplay. We're using the API. It basically scrapes all the ads that are out there. Like, so let's say we're wanting to, search competitor ads for some type of e-com company. We can take all that data, um, analyze the ads that are winning for the competitors, seeing why it has won. And then we can also take those designs and um, take inspiration from those designs and then make a spin-off to our clients' um, company's product. And then it would just spit out multiple versions, including that product or that service as ads at scale. So yeah, never has been a time where we can do that without hiring an actual designer. So that's really exciting. It really kind of shifts the paradigm of ad testing. I've been in like the ads market for a long time now, and before it would just continuously be like crunch time for the video editors, the designers. When we want to try to scale up a campaign, we would need a bunch of creatives created, but now it's just in the matter of couple seconds, you can test and produce a bunch of new ads. So it's really,
Yeah, that's incredible.
yeah, it's a wild
That's
time.
that's that is crazy. I really like hearing that. It's it's wild to me that working in ads a couple of years ago, how much it's changed. You had to really have so many different moving people and components with different specialties. And I'm not saying those people aren't still valuable. Like maybe they'll be able to analyze which is the better output or whatever. But practically speaking, like they're going to get their bandwidth and their brain freed up a lot because this kind of stuff is wild. It's wild. It's cool. Yeah, it's that's great. That's interesting. I remember even having to deal with I think we had a vendor when I was at a marketing agency that was like sending us stuff, and then someone internally would also do it sometimes. It was kind of all over the place. It was very, very disorganized, but
Mm.
this hopefully could streamline it for people.
No, for sure. Yeah. It's yeah, it gets pretty messy when there's a lot of people involved and a lot of different files that need to be organized. But yeah, it seems like at least from the test that we're doing right now, even on the free version of like Nano Banana, you're still able to produce a lot of these ads. So if you aren't listening and if you are an advertiser, I definitely advise you to check it out. Create some ads yourself, and yeah, you can use automations for scaling as well. So
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for making the time today. I appreciate it. Please, everyone, make sure to check out the product that we covered today, as well as Peter here at Syncsonic. So the website name is there's a couple different ways you can put it in. You can put syncsonic.ai and it'll redirect you, but it'll be the right website. But anyways, if you have any other questions or comments for myself or Peter, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below on YouTube. And don't forget to leave a like, review the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. And with that being said, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I do.